Hey guys, it's Robin. I'm just driving around. This is Laguna Beach, and I'm on the 101, and I'm just driving. I don't know how far down I'm gonna drive, or if I'm gonna turn, or what I'm gonna do, but I don't know. I just thought it'd be fun to record it, and you guys can watch along where I'm driving, and I don't know, as I think of little stories, I could tell you guys some stories. I guess one of the ones I've been wanting to tell you is that dream that the dream that I had right after my near-death experience. So when I got home, whatever time it was, I think it was probably during the day or so into the night. Gosh, honestly, I don't remember. It must have been during the day. Because my ex ended up going on a walk, so it had to be daytime. Anyway, I was so scared because, during all that, when I told you guys about how that video was, playing back to me, all that weird stuff that happened that played back in the video, by the time it was done and the IVs and stuff had got into me and were working, they just sent me home. And my girlfriend that had she brought me home, and she offered to stay and stuff, but my ex promised that he'd stay with me the whole time and stuff, because I was so scared. I couldn't tell if I was alive or dead. I was asking people and stuff too. I'm like, where am I? Am I in hell? Is this heaven? Are we in limbo? What's going on? It was so scary. But I still hadn't had sleep. I wasn't thrown up anymore. They gave me this medicine to make it so I wouldn't throw up, even if when I started drinking water again, if I was still nauseous. But I had to sleep. But I was really scared that I would sleep too long, because I hadn't slept for so long. I felt like I could sleep for days, and so I was really scared that I would sleep too long and then wake up and be dehydrated again. And so I asked my ex to please just stay there with me and wake me up every 4 hours or whatever, and let me drink some water, and then just I was just so scared. I was really scared. Anyway, I went to sleep the first time, and that's when I had this dream. And before I tell it to you, when I woke up, he had gone on a walk and wasn't there. So here I'd had this really scary dream, and then no one was there. So I went around the house going, oh my God, where is he? Anyway, what the dream was, oh my gosh. So I opened my eyes, and I was in this room that was the size of a small doctor's office, and I was in a chair, a dentist chair, and I was strapped in it. My ankles were strapped down by the ankles, and then I was sitting in it, and then my arms were on the armrests, and they were strapped down, but that was the only stuff. I could move my body around and stuff. And then there was a headrest also that my head was up against, kind of touching a little bit, but I wasn't hooked right there. It wasn't I wasn't chained right there or anything. So I could move my neck around and stuff and look around at things. And right in front of me, and this is just when I opened my eyes, before I talked or said anything or anything more happened. It just, the very initial, when I opened my eyes and was trying to figure out where I was, because it felt to me, I opened my eyes and was actually in this room. It wasn't it was a little fuzzy, but it was more I had been drugged, that type of a fuzzy, not how it's dream fuzzy, how you can kind of, after you wake up, you can tell that it was weird, how you went around and moved around and it feels weird, and you're oh yeah, that was obviously a dream. This wasn't. This was I actually woke up and was in this room, drugged or something. And so I'm in this chair, and straight across from me is a pretty good sized television. It's a flat screen, and it's it's paused, and it's it's getting ready to be a movie gonna be turned on, or it's gonna be the next show or something. But it's just white static so far, not the static on your TV when there's no show on, and it's speckly with the black and the white. And so this is just plain white. I guess kind of at an eye doctor place, when they have that screen across that you look at, and it's just pure white, and then they have the letters come on, and you tell them what the letters they are. It kind of was a screen like that. It was bright like that. If you put up x-rays or something, you could see them with it, but it was a TV anyway. And then to the left of me was this long couch, and there was this couple on the couch, and they were just like making out, but it was weird because they were kind of like I could see them kind of solid once in a while, their faces, but they just kept like meshing together, like lights kind of, like they'd be kind of solid and then they like flowy would like be around and light, and they were just like making out so hard they were like in each other and stuff with the light. Like it was really weird watching it, and it was like whatever was going on with me is that's why they were making out. It was like it was icky. And then once I kind of looked around, I was like, what is this? There was a man's voice. Ooh, I'm all shaky telling this, but hopefully it's a little better because look how pretty it is outside, guys. Anyway, I hear this voice next to me, and so I look more, and like I can turn my head enough to see him kind of behind me on my left shoulder. I can see, so I can't see what they look like or anything, but just enough to see there's a figure behind me. And he's like, we're gonna see what you can take. And I was like, what? And then all of a sudden something on the TV started playing, and it wasn't just that it was playing and I was watching it, it was like I was in the TV, but I could like do both things at the same time. I could be there watching it and I could be in it, and I would it was like I said, both at the very same time. It didn't go back and forth. It was just I was sitting there watching it, and then at the very same time I was that person in that screen playing that part. And all of the ones, like, I'm gonna try not to cry because I felt all the things. And so it's like, it's not bothering me, but just talking about it's like, ooh, it feels really weird. So it was in real time. So this dream, to me, in the dream went on for countless, I can't even describe or even think of how long this was, because it was so many over and over and over and over and over and over. And for every single one, I played out the entire experience, and each experience was like icky stuff, guys. Like it would be like rapes, and it would be ways that I got murdered, in ways that like, and it was all this awful stuff that just kept happening to me. And then every time I would come back, this voice behind me that I couldn't hardly see, they'd be like, so have you had enough yet, or do you still believe there's a God? And I'd say, yeah, you can do whatever you want to me, and no matter what you do, I still believe in God. I know there's more. And I said, you can do whatever you want, because I'm not even actually here sitting in this chair. I said, this isn't real. I can close my eyes and be anywhere I want, and God will protect me. I said, so if this is what's happening right now, it's just because it's lessons or what I'm supposed to learn. I had to take a break for a second because it's making me feel really, got really, like lightheaded, and my legs and my hands are kind of a little bit numb. I might pull over here for just a second. Let's see. Blue Lantern, that's a fun little road. I'm gonna go pull into this little parking space and I'll tell you guys the rest, because it's kind of getting a little difficult to drive, because that was making me like just right at that point. So see how the universe hooked it up? I was safe that entire time, and like literally the moment it was like, woo, this is getting a little much. All right, let's pull right into here, and look, it's kind of a pretty little ivies and stuff. Alrighty. So anywhoozits, let's see if we can. Well, hey, I've got it turned around. I see myself in the mirror, so I'm trying to so you guys can kind of see me. Does that work? I'll do the best I can with it. I haven't done it this way before, so but anyway, so he kept looking. I'm like freaking shaky, like I didn't like, that's why I kind of was waiting to tell this dream. But so anyway, he kept coming back and asking, like, you know, can you take this, can you take it? And finally Like, I'm not, it was for so long. This just went, like, I was like, it was like hell. I don't know. I guess the best way I could kind of describe it was kind of like Clockwork Orange, how they had the guy's eyes open and made him watch stuff or whatever. Except my eyes were like pried open. I just would be the person. So I don't know. But the very, very last time that he talked to me, so I almost think that like for a while during these, I had the thought that maybe I was like in the Holocaust and that's what that chair was, which is so weird that I would have that thought, because here I was like in a dream. But whenever I'd come out of those movies and be back in that thought, I'd think, am I like in the Holocaust or something? And they're like doing tests on me or something. And that would be like my feels I got. And that's like kind of how this guy like was. But then towards the end, and as these would start to like, they'd start to be less icky and be worse and less worse and less worse. And then the guy that was like next to me, when I'd come back, he'd be a little softer each time. And on the very, very last time, he said, what did he say? He just said, you got it, or I think you got it, or I think it's just something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like he was happy. And it wasn't that he was being mean, because this whole time I thought I was like in hell being tortured is what it felt like. But the very last thought, or the very last thing that happened, was my eyes opened in real life where I was, and I could see, like I was laying in the bed in the apartment and I could see, and at the same time I could feel something right on the back of my head here. I felt this movement that, like, I don't know if I'm showing it, I don't know, but I could feel the grab, and I can't tell if something was pulled out or if it was put in, but it was like whatever was making me be that TV thing was like done now. So I don't know if it was like, like I said, I don't know if it was like plugged into something different now or if it was plugged out. But it scared the crap out of me, because like the feelings that I felt about how it was more that he was helping and not necessarily a bad guy, I didn't get that feel until I replayed this a whole bunch of times. The way that it ended that first time was just on the very, very last one. When he said, it's got it, or it's got it, or it's done, or whatever it was, and then pulled it. The last thing I remembered was the feeling of that. Like, it was so icky. Like, because I could still feel it when I was still awake. And it was when my eyes opened and I was awake in the apartment, is when I felt the fingers. Like, I felt each individual finger, like it went like this slowly. And so I could feel each of those finger notches. And it didn't hurt or anything. It just, gosh, I don't even know how to explain it. I'm not sure. But when I woke up, I was so scared, because like I could still remember all the things that happened. And to me, it had lasted forever and ever and ever. So for me, it was like, oh my God, I'm back. And so I went through the apartment, where are you? Where are you? I couldn't find him because he'd gone out on a walk. And so I ended up calling him, and he had walked like 15 minutes away. So I was alone in the apartment for 15 minutes, not knowing what was going on. I was still really tired and trying not to fall back to sleep. And it was just so scary. And like, finally when he got back, like, I don't know why, but like, people weren't super nice to me about it. Like, I would tell people what happened and like how scared I was in these near-death things, and in the hospital, how scary it was. And like, the one girlfriend that took me to the hospital, she was really nice about it, but she like had to work and stuff, so I couldn't really hang out with her. And then like, mom was pretty nice about it, but I was really scared to like really talk to her about what happened, because when that Westport stuff had happened, so the 3 or 4 months, it was like 2 months at the shortest to 6 months, but I want to say it was like right in between there, 2-3 months. That the stuff with mom, right, or that happened with mom, I forgot to say in the last video, when we got back from Westport, that next morning after all of it happened, I was really freaked out. So I stayed home with my mom, and my ex went to work, and all day it was so weird. It was like it wasn't her. She like, and like I kind of talked to her about it. Like I asked her a little bit, and she didn't know what I was talking about. She thought we just watched like regular movies and stuff. But during that day, she kept showing me videos of like animals being put to sleep and like just really weird stuff. And then she would watch me watch them, and she'd go, what do you think about this one? What do you think about this one? And like watch all of my reactions. And then she like asked me all these really, really weird questions about past things. And like there'd be stuff that I didn't even remember doing when I was like the younger adult and stuff. And I'm like, what? And she'd ask me about it. She goes, how did that make you feel when it was happening and stuff? And I was like, I guess that wouldn't have been good, or I guess that was good, or whatever. This, like, I don't remember a lot of exactly the details of the stuff now, but it was just so weird because it wasn't her. And like I say, I talked to her about it later, and we just had normal conversations. And so that's fine. That's cool. But yeah, so I was really nervous after I had that icky dream and the stuff to go over to my mom's, because I was like, I don't want that to happen again or anything. So I just like stayed in the apartment, and it was really scary. And then the very, very next day after this happened, we ended up having, he had a friend that he worked with that they were losing their place or something. So I said it was cool if they came and stayed, except I was starting this business and I just had all this happen. So I said, as long as they help keep the apartment clean and I'm able to still do my business and all that I didn't care if they stayed with us. And here I had just had this happen, and while he was at work all that day, and I was, laying in bed scared and stuff, I decided to go ahead and get up and clean the apartment. And so here it was, I just had all this happen, and I spent the day cleaning so that people could come and stay, and got it so I could do the business again. And I was going to go ahead and just open it the next day and put it online that I'm open. People come look at my stuff, and I was excited again and just moving through and dealing with it. And these people ended up every single night, them and the ex would just stay up all night and trash the place. And so then I'd get up the next morning and gonna start my business thing, and the whole place would be trashed. So I'd spend the day cleaning it. And this went on for a week. And finally it was just like, I'm gonna have to just get a regular job. And that's why I ended up having that Subway job for a year. And then that's also why I ended up moving over with my friend where I had the RV. So like, this is kind of some of the stuff why I say I'm not like upset with him when we served each other's purposes. Like, I'm not upset with him or mad at him at all about the dream stuff. I think, cause like he's somebody that would have sat with me and helped me. Like that wasn't him at all. Just like mom asking me the stuff in the house, those weird questions after, like that wasn't her. That was just roles we're supposed to play. I think we all do that for each other. And some stuff we just kind of don't remember doing if it's things that like have to happen, or, like maybe we do when we make the wrong choices. But I don't know. I don't necessarily think we're making wrong choices, because like at the time I couldn't understand why he would leave like that, or like why those people would be so rude and have the house mess it up when they all know I'm trying to do this business. Like I had people that already wanted to buy the paintings that were going to come buy them, and I wasn't able to have them over, and I don't know how to ship the stuff. And the ones that were going to buy them, there was one person that was just going to be in town, and then they were like an hour away, and they happened to be going to be in town for a couple days, and so they weren't able to come by, and I wasn't able to ship them, so I lost those and stuff. But then I realized later on, so this is what my point is like this stuff that seems like it's bad, and why I'm cool with that. Like I'm not even mad at those roommates that ended up coming. Like they were all a blessing, because otherwise I might have stayed in that apartment forever. Or maybe those paintings wouldn't have got to the right people, because a lot of those paintings I took them all around with me and stuff, and people that ended up getting them were people that wouldn't have been the ones that got them if I had tried to sell them in the apartment. and then moving the RV over to where my friend's house was. Like, if I hadn't done that, then the stuff that ended up happening with me and her wouldn't have happened, to where I moved out into the RV, and then I ended up doing that's when I really dug into like Eckhart Tolle and all that kind of stuff, when I got in even more, and then decided to do the car and do all the cars. So like all these things, that they all just kind of intertwine and go together. So that's another thing with this dream is, like I say, I dug into this dream a whole bunch and tried to figure out what it meant and all that, because like it was scary and icky, and like it did freak me out while I was driving. Like that actually, like the actual dream itself ain't that bad, but like what freaks me out the most is that it made me feel like that, to the point I had to come pull over. Like, I wasn't expecting that. That's really weird. So that I'm wondering about. But the actual dream itself, I came to the conclusion that I was just pushing myself to see what it could be for me to not believe in God, like, I mean, again, I don't know for sure, whatever, but when I started putting myself back in that chair and pushing through, that was when I started, instead of just focusing on what my feelings were and what my feelings were on the TV, I was able to go back and kind of feel what the guy's feeling was that was next to me. I never tried it with the couple. I still don't understand what the couple on the couch meant, but I could feel the guy next to me, and he didn't like what he was doing. It was that he was helping me. And once I started feeling that and realized that started helping me in my own life too, as far as like way back in the day, I was actually held captive for, I don't know if I talked about this in my other videos or not, but it was about 2 weeks or something like that. And he did some really, really icky stuff. It was in my own house. And this is one of the reasons I don't really like getting phone calls and stuff, is he would keep all of my electronics and then still have me go to the to my work. I was doing in-home care at the time, and I would go to my 2 clients, and I couldn't tell him or anything because he said he would kill my animals. And so I'd have to go to work, and he'd keep all my electronics, and then when I came home, I was allowed to use them, but he would go and check all my stuff of what I did. And so I had to be really careful, and I wasn't allowed to like bring my phone with me or anything. And then one day I decided that I didn't want to live like that anymore, and I was gonna kill myself. And so while he was in the shower, I got my phone out and I sent a message to my first ex-husband, and because we'd already been split up for a while now. But I don't know, I don't know why I picked him. It was just, I opened my phone, didn't have anyone in mind. I just poked on his and sent a message. I said something like, sorry it didn't all work out. It had nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with me. It's just how life is, and I appreciate you and hope everything works out. I don't know, something like that. And he figured out that it was like a suicidal thing. And so he messaged my mom right away, and I didn't know that any of this was happening, but Mom immediately started driving to my house. And after I sent that message, I deleted it immediately so that the guy wouldn't see, because when he came out of the shower, he immediately went to the stuff and checked everything. But not expecting it, Mom came and knocked on the door. And she goes, Robin, I have to show you the coolest thing. And he tried to get me to stay. And she goes, I'll have her right back. I just want to show her this thing. And so he let me go. And while we were going, we drove just a couple blocks away, and she pulled over. She's like, you got to tell me what's going on. I started crying and told her all this stuff. And then she's like, can we get him out? Then if we go get Dad and we'll get him out. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So we went over, we got Dad, and we got to the house, and all of us went in, and the guy just started being really nice at doing and acting and stuff. And Dad wouldn't listen. He's like, nope. Like, I'd never seen my dad quite like this. He was like a big rooster. And he's like, you, get out. It was like, ooh, go Dad. So he got him out, and they took him to the furthest away airport there was and just dropped him there. And we ended up going and making a police report, and I sat there and I wrote down all the stuff that he did, and it was just page after page after page. And while I was there was all these other people, and you'd see them write their stuff, and then they'd go give it to the lady to check to see if it was worth a restraining order, and she'd go, oh, I'm sorry, you left, and they just kept going. When I went and handed her mine, she goes, I don't even need to read this yet. She said, I saw you over there and your face and she goes, you've got the restraining order. She said, we'll read this later, but here. And then I ended up going to the hearing and stuff. Oh, they went to go serve it to him, and he was already gone from that hotel. And so we never found out where he was. And this was back, I was like 22, 23, and now I'm 37. So it's been that many years where we don't know where he was. So there was a lot of years where I was really worried that he might like try to do something. But every 2 weeks I'd have to go back to the courthouse and file for another restraining order, and I'd have to go back through all the stuff that he did and all that. But even that I get now, like you can see when I'm telling it, it's like that one barely even gets me, because like now I'm thankful for all of it because of having that experience. Again, that pushed me to what I needed to do, and it got me, I have a lot of tools now that I can help people if they're in situations like that. You know, you can message and, you know, I relate to that kind of stuff. So like things that are bad that happen, once you get to a certain point in your life, it just all makes sense as to why it had to happen. And I don't even know where I'm going with all this. Let's see, I started with that one dream, trying to explain all the bad stuff. Oh yeah, so I'm kind of thinking that like maybe even my whole life, I don't know if this is for everybody, we all do it different or something, but I kind of think that our oh man, I can't think of the word again. I couldn't think of it in the last video I tried either. Your life review, that's the word I was trying to think of last time. Your life review, when you hear of people that have a near-death experience and die and they are doing their life review, I think we're living our life reviews. I mean, I guess technically we are, because when you die and you watch it on TV and watch your life review, that's this that we're living now. So all this stuff and remembering all these things and all that got me thinking, we're just living our life reviews. So me and that dream watching those, I think that was all one life. I think all of our like past lives and all that, I think it may be just like one big long life. And that's what that dream was showing me is, you know, that was all the bad things, but all the good things too. And I think all of it is to like kind of wake us up, but then also to figure out what it is we love the most and what we don't like the most. And because I think we lived all our good stuff too. But I think this life is just a what's that word? A compilation? Compensate? No, you know, where you put all the things together to make one movie, kind of like how my videos are. I think that's what this life is just a whole bunch of those all the things that I think all of us have literally done everything. And then we put all of it together, and I think this is we're all living our one last lives, kind of like it's all one big life, but I think we all took our favorite and least favorite or whatever and put it all together in one big life, and we're playing it out as a movie, and we're playing it. We all have our own going on, and it all just kind of works together to make one great big movie, because like, it's so hard to think of the words. I don't even know if any of this is making sense. I don't even know what I was going to talk about. I just felt like I was supposed to turn this on and record it. So, but anyway, here, let's make sure it's still even playing. Okay, yeah, we're at almost 29 minutes. But yeah, so I don't know, guys, like, I would love if people want to talk to me about this, like if you guys want to have a conversation, and like we can either just us talk about it, or like we could either record it and post what we talk about so that other people can like then comment on what we're talking about. Like, I don't know, like I wonder about all this stuff. But I think dreams and all that really have a lot to do with, you know, what's going on. Like, I think dreams are just as real as this, and this is just as real as dreams, and then at the same time nothing matters, you know, like it all matters and it doesn't matter at the same time. So I don't know. But let me think. What was the other stuff I was want to talk to you guys about? Was the dream? Oh, the near-death thing that happened last week. All right, I'll tell that one, because I've been talking long enough now that anybody who doesn't care has already clicked off of this. So I'll tell you guys, if you went this far, you get to hear what happened. So it was the day after the Jason Mraz concert, during when the video that talked about what it's like living in my car around homeless people and the gratitude and stuff, while that was uploading, that's when this happened. So I'd made that video and then had it uploading, and then I sat the camera and sat it right here on my front up here, and it was sitting there. And something else I should mention beforehand, because it was a pretty scary thing that happened, and I haven't really told anybody. I had commented on I happened to see a YouTube video after this happened that like kind of helped me understand a little more of what happened. And so I put a comment on about it, and someone actually ended up messaging me, and so I chatted about it a little bit. But as far as like telling any of my friends or family or anybody that like really knows me, I didn't want to tell anybody, because for me it was very spiritual, and I know I'm okay and I'm safe. But anybody else, I didn't want to scare them and then be like, you have to go to the doctor, you have to go to the hospital. So I think it's been long enough now that you guys can see I'm okay, so I can tell you this story without anybody being like, you're dumb, go to the hospital. And if you want to, I don't care anymore. Anyway, so my guides or angels or whatever, they had been warning me for the last like couple of weeks before this happened, giving me a heads up that at some point I was going to completely pass out, and I was going to be safe, and I was going to be okay, and not to be scared about it, and that it was going to be a real big shift and a real good thing for me. And they were like, is that okay? Are you cool with that? I was like, yeah, sure. And they're like, well, we're warning you, it is going to scare you. It's going to be more than like kind of what you're thinking. It's going to be kind of scary. And I asked, I'm like, but I'll be okay. Or they're like, oh yeah. No, you'll be cool. It's just in like the 3D, it's going to look really scary and be scary. And so I was, okay, whatever. And so then they had me prepare for it. And so for the last couple weeks, it'd be like towards the end of the day when I'm going to bed or something, they would have me take a big puff of weed, and I'd sit right here in my front seat. I already have it all closed down, and then I'd go to bed after. But anyway, they'd have me meditate kind of for a second, and then I'd take a great big puff of weed and hold it as long as I could, to the point where it felt like I was passing out. And I never did, but they were actually preparing me for this and stuff. And again, like I don't know, I kind of believed it happened and didn't, but like I thought, since they were having me practice here in the chair, that it was gonna like be in the chair and I'd pass out all gentle, and then I'd go, oh, and go, ooh, or whatever. They didn't tell me that it was gonna like, cause like that alone would be scary if you weren't expecting it. So I thought, that would be scary, but it won't be, because they had me practice. But what ended up happening is, so I had got to a park, that cool dog park. I posted a video, I held it and like did the phone, and it was that cool dog park right in the middle of San Diego that was like a little peaceful spot I found in all the chaos. So I had made that video. I can't remember if I did this way. It must have been before that happened, but it was that same day. And then I made the video, the homeless one, and that was sitting here, and I had just started uploading it. I just pushed the start for the upload, sat it here, and then I stood up out of my chair and went to walk around the front of the car, because I was coming around to my driver's side, because I was going to grab out some stuff and then come back and grab the phone and just kind of go sit up in like a chair or something and just sit while it was loading. And I got to the front of the car and I thought, whoa, I feel kind of weird. And the last thing I remembered was I put my hand on the front of the front of the car, whatever, the hood, whatever it is. And next thing I knew, I woke up on the driver's side. What I remember though was my last thought was, why do I feel weird like this? I mean, I thought they wouldn't have me pass out like this, because I remember they had mentioned it to me, so I knew. So my last thought was they wouldn't have me pass out like this. And then the next thing I remember, when I like had that thought, closed my eyes, opened them, still thinking I was standing up there and they wouldn't have me pass out like that. And so I was still thinking to myself, that would be silly. Why would they do that? And then I was like, wait, why is it so soft on my cheek? And then I like kind of lifted my head and realized I was laying down. I was like, why am I on the ground? And so I felt, and there was sand all on my cheek. And I started looking around and realized I was on the ground. But what was kind of extra weird is I was like right in the middle of the front of my, like right in the middle here. But I woke up all the way on the side of my car over there. And I was like way further over, like I had like walked further or like crawled or something, like I'm not really sure. But and my front door was open of my car, and I hadn't opened the front door of my car yet. And like, say I had walked and opened it and then passed out, then it would have like hit it and shut it. Or like, I don't know, that means it had to like, I had to have fallen and then it opened or something. And I, like, there was people around, but I don't think anybody would have come and just opened my front door and left me there. That'd be really weird. So I was in a really weird position. I just realized I should turn my car off. Park, there we go. So I was in a really weird position, and I was laying up next to there. So I woke up, and then I realized my ear kind of hurt. And so I kind of checked. I only had, which ones do I have? I had these, just the 3 on. Can you see them? I'm trying to, just these 3. And they hurt really bad. And then I realized my knee hurt too. Let's see if you can see my knee. It's still, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can see it's still scraped from where I scraped it. It had sand all in it. I had to scrape all the sand out. And then my earrings, let's see. So you can see, let's see if we can focus enough. This one, let's see if I can get this to, I don't know if it's focusing or not. Sorry, guys. This one's crushed. Like, I don't know if you can see that little crushed spot. And then it was up a little higher. It was in the middle where this one is, but I moved it to the bottom now. And then this blue one was up here. I don't know if you can tell, but this was a square. So you should be seeing the square, but you're seeing it on the edge because it got squished, if you can see. And the whole thing was bent like this. I don't know if you can tell what I'm doing. It was bent like this, so I had to like bend it back, and then that little jewel I put back in and like squished it on there so it would stay in. But I hit so hard my face into the ground that it knocked the backs of the earrings out and then crushed those too. So I freaking hit hard. And I had thought to myself, dang, how long was I out? Because the blood on my knee was all dry and congealed and stuff. And then when I came and looked in the mirror, the blood all around my earring holes were all dry too. And it was like had come down a bit and was just dry. So I looked at my phone and it had been uploading for almost 30 minutes. So I like fainted and then hit my head. And then the other thing too, when I woke up, my lungs hurt. Like, nothing else really hurt. Like, I felt fantastic besides, like, I didn't even notice the ear or the knee until I started to move and like touched it. And then like they ached a little bit, but it not bad. Like, and it went away really fast. But my lungs, like, it felt like I hadn't been breathing. And it didn't freak me out too much until I realized that I had been passed out for almost 30 minutes. I don't think I was breathing that whole time. And so I think I actually died, and then like woke up into the next, like, I think I just die a bunch of times and then wake up in the next. I don't know if we all do that and just don't remember or whatever, but like, I think that timeline I died. And this new one I woke up into, because it's been weird this last week. It's like I'm pretty sure I've been meeting my soul family, because I've, after posting videos since then, people keep reaching out to me that it just have the most beautiful, wonderful vibes. Let's turn this off, by the way. I didn't realize I didn't have it all the way off. And like, that's kind of why I'm not as scared to show these videos where I'm talking this open about stuff. And like, I'm a lot less scared about the money and just everything. Like, my fear is just gone. When I woke up, another crazy thing too is, before that happened, in fact, I think I even mentioned it in in that video, the homeless gratitude one, my 2 teeth, in fact, I could show you just to show how bad they are, because they still look bad, but they don't hurt. And for about 2 days, during the Mraz concert that day, and then that next day before it happened, they hurt so bad, both of them, the top one and the bottom one. It's my very last molars on top and bottom. One of them had been a root canal that I had about a year ago, and I haven't got the crown on it yet, so it's like all the way to the root. And then the one on the bottom is an old one that the filling came out. It was an old root canal, so it's all the way down into the root. And they both have been like this for a while, and just they hurt, and they both were like aching to the point, like I've had my teeth, I had one that abscessed once up into my sinus, and it was an emergency when I had to go, like when it happened, it burst, and I had to immediately, I had to go in, and they normally, you know, they give you antibiotics and you go home. No, they got me in and they had to do my whole sinus, so I know what it feels like to have an abscess. And I've had the root canals before, and that's what those were feeling like. Like, it was scaring me, because the only place I could go is all the way up in Washington. It would have been like a 1.5-day drive to get up there. And so I was getting really scared. So the other weird thing is, after I hit my head and woke up, I've had no pain. It's just gone. They're totally cool. And what's weird too is it's these two. So I hit right here hard enough that it bloodied those earrings and bent them and crushed them, yet did nothing to those teeth, and those teeth just don't hurt anymore. And I feel really great. Like, I woke up, when I got up, like my lungs did hurt, and it felt like I had to get them going again. Like, it was like, when I actually opened my eyes, I was like, what's going on? Like, I had to gasp, but it wasn't painful. Like, nothing hurt. I immediately opened my eyes and just got up, and I was fine, and just felt great. And I even, I even mentioned this in that last video too. The reason I had gone to that park is because I hadn't got much sleep the night before because of the Mraz thing, and then I went to a drag show and stuff, so I was exhausted. And so even after that happened, I was still really tired, but I know that, like, with concussions and stuff, you're not supposed to sleep. And so I was like, I know that if I told anybody, they'd want me to, like, go to a hospital or at least not take a nap. And I was like, you know what? I'm so okay with if it's my time to go or not, because I figured, like, if I was supposed to die, I would have right then, you know, but I came back, so there's a reason. And so I was like, I'm still gonna take a nap. So while the thing was still loading, because it only had loaded like 12% in that half hour, because I was out, the area it ended up taking it like 9 hours to post. But so I took a nap while it was posting, and I actually went to sleep. And for just a minute, when I went to lay down, I had a scary thought, like, what if I actually do die and stuff? And then immediately fine. And I've been fine ever since. Like, there's been a few times I start getting real nervous, or like I'm feeling alone and so, but these new friends I've made and stuff, whenever I start feeling like that, they happen to message me at the time that I'm like starting to get a little nervous and stuff, and then it's cool. It's like everything has just lined up even better, and I feel more like me, and I just feel a lot better and stuff. Like, whatever happened, I think I'm up on a good timeline and stuff. Like, I really feel like I'm like on the highest timeline I can be without just being my higher self out in space or something. Like, I don't really know, but I'm having fun posting videos and talking about it, and I've been scared to really talk about this stuff. So anyway, anything else I can think of about that thing? I guess the only other thing I can really think of is after it was all completely done, and I came and sat in the chair, because like I cried a little bit, just because it was like, oh my gosh, like such a shock it happened. But it wasn't even like scared or tears or anything. It was more like I couldn't control them. It just came out. And while I was sitting here thinking about it, I got the sensation over me that during those 20-30 minutes I was with my soul family. And when I thought that, like, I can't remember or see any of it, and I don't know for sure and stuff what happened while I was out, but when I had the thought, all I could feel was like hugs all over me. Like, during that whole time it was happening, they were like, I feel like I was being washed and cleaned during that 20-30 minutes of wherever I was. And that I just had light all around me, and it was just all my soul family around me going, oh, give me
hugs and having it all good and being like, oh, missed you. So like, I can't like totally remember it, but that's the feel I get for it. So, but anyway, so that's I guess that's all the stuff that I had thought about talking about, and I did talk about a lot more than I was planning on. I don't know, I'm kind of like, I channel this stuff, so like it's me saying it, and I remember and I know I'm talking about it, but it's like I just am kind of letting the spirit go through me, and so some of it's like words from the universe coming out, and then some of it's my own experiences. But even that, when I'm talking about them, it's the stuff that I've experienced that they want me to talk about, to share with you guys for whatever reason. Like some of it's going to help specific people, and then some of it'll just be out there, and maybe it'll be years before it gets to certain people that end up needing it. And at the same time, it's helping me too, like talking about this stuff. Like whenever I would try to talk to my therapists, like I would just feel crazy, or they would say stuff I would tell them my stuff, and then they'd, well, that's not how it, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know, recently I feel good about talking about it. I like sharing it, and I super appreciate you guys for listening, and you feel, you know who you are, who really are into it and helping, and you guys are helping me just as much as I'm helping you. And like, I really appreciate being able to talk about this stuff and share it. So, I don't know, maybe I'll post this one just like this and then go drive more, or maybe I'll drive and add some more to it. But if I post it just like this, enjoy. You could go see more pictures and stuff on my Instagram if you want, at TikiChick44 if you want to. But yeah, if you guys want to tell me any of your dreams, or if you have any like what you think some of that might have meant, or any other questions or stories you want to talk about, you know the drill. Whatever you guys are thinking, hit me up. Head on over to that Instagram and you can message me and I'll chat with you. It's all free. I just love all you guys. So thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye. Decided to do a little more video to add on to that. So the spot I just parked at, so I just was right there. There I am. There's the ivy. I just happened to be this close to the ocean, and so how cool is that the universe had me pull off there. It had a spot for me to pull off, and right there at the ocean you can go down, and it's actually like a little park area and stuff. And if you were to go all the way down there and park, you have to pay, but I happen to be in this spot that's not even busy and have a spot to park. So that's another thing that I had no idea where I was or where I was driving, and I just happened, the very first spot I turned, the universe hooked me up. So I guess I can start walking. I'm gonna walk down there. I've got my lunch in my purse and my something to drink, and I'm gonna go sit down on the beach for a little bit, and I'll show you guys a little bit of beach before I call this video a video. Okay guys, see you down there soon. Holy crap, guys, look at this. There's a sailboat way the freak out there. See, like, I just happened to come drive to this. Like, what? Like, I didn't know this was here. Look at these plants. Like, what? Hey, that's where I'm at. And like, this little thing's cute. I can't get down there from here, but that's okay. There might be a little trail though. I might be able to walk down there somehow. We'll see. But dang. Beautiful. Just right up the road from here. Bird, can you guys see it? There's already been two, but they flew away really fast, but this guy's sticking around. Oh. It's okay, I'm glad I turned it back on anyway, because like, I keep seeing that. Oh look, there's a dragonfly. Can you see him? Oh. It's just so beautiful. Hey guys, just gonna do a quick wrap up on that video. I ended up driving over to a Barnes and Noble, so I'm gonna go in there and sit for a little bit, maybe look at a book and chill for a little bit, and upload this video for you guys. So I don't know what I'll do after here. Probably just chill here till it's time to find somewhere to sleep, and then go somewhere and sleep. But I'll keep making these videos for you guys and let you know where it keeps leading me, because I feel like I'm gonna like run into somebody, or like find something really cool, or all of a sudden it's gonna be like, okay, drive here, and I'm gonna have to drive somewhere really far or something. Like, I don't know, but I'm excited. So whatever stuff's happening, I'll just throw out my camera and grab it and show you guys. So all right, guys, I'll catch you later. Bye.